Okay, imagine this. A big cricket match, high stakes, one team looks like they're absolutely cruising, and then bam, a massive collapse driven by this one incredible performance from someone on the team that actually lost. That's pretty much exactly what happened recently, and that's what we're going to unpack for you today. We're doing a deep dive into this really thrilling top-end T20 series match. It was between the Pakistan Shaheens and the Perth Scorchers Academy, played back on August 16th, 2025 at the TIO Stadium up in Darwin. And we've got the goods, detailed play-by-play from ESPN.com, plus some context from ESPN Cricinfo and Cricket World. So our mission here really is to get past just the final score. We want to pull out those key moments, you know, the flashes of individual brilliance, the strategic bits that really define this, well, this nail-biter of a game. And we'll dig into how a player can be the standout performer even when their team doesn't win. It tells you so much about T20 cricket, right? How unpredictable it is. Okay, let's get stuck in. So it all kicked off with the toss, as it always does, a big moment. Pakistan Shaheens, they won it there at the TIO Stadium, and they chose to bat first. What did that tell you straight away? Putting runs on the board, how did that play out early on?
Yeah, batting first, you're looking to set a target, put that scoreboard pressure on. Standard T20 thinking, often. But for the Shaheens, it kind of backfired pretty quickly. They had a really, really weak start. We're talking 4 wickets down for just 33 runs inside the first 6 overs. That's your power play gone, basically.
Yeah.
You know, key guys like Yasser Khan, Khawaja Nafay, Abdul Samad, all back in the dugout early.
Oof.
Exactly. So that immediate collapse just forces them onto the back foot. They have to switch from attacking mode to just trying to rebuild.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, really tough in T20 format.
Right, a really difficult start. But they didn't completely fold, did they? There was some resistance, particularly from Saad Masood in those middle overs.
Yeah, he definitely stood up. Saad Masood played, I'd say, a pretty valiant innings there. 42 runs off 32 balls. That was really the core of their effort. He got a bit of help. Mohammad Faith chipped in with 21. Mas Sadakat got 14. But honestly, the Perth Scorchers bowlers were just incredibly tight, particularly Matthew Kelly. He was excellent. 3 wickets for only 14 runs. That's very tidy. And Luke Holt backed him up well, 2 for 18. They just didn't let the Shaheens build any momentum at all. They kept the pressure on constantly and eventually bowled them out for 111. That was in 18.5 overs.
111. Okay, so not a huge total, but maybe something to bowl at, gives them a chance, I suppose. The pressure then flips entirely onto the Scorchers' batters. Chasing, 112 to win? Looks fairly straightforward on paper, but T20 is never quite that simple, is it?
No, absolutely not. And this match really proves that point. Even a low score like 111, well, the pressure of the chase, maybe a bit of early discipline bowling, it can turn things upside down. And actually, the Scorchers felt that pressure themselves early on. They found themselves at 34 for 3 after just 4.5 overs.
Oh, wow. So not plain sailing for them either.
Not at all. It shows maybe they were a bit tentative. Or perhaps the Shaheens opening bowlers found a good rhythm, put the squeeze on early. It wasn't a walk in the park.
Okay, so a bit of a wobble from the Scorchers, too. And then things got really interesting. Between about over 11 and over 16, something just clicked for Pakistan. Or rather, for one player in particular. Walk us through that phase.
Yeah, this is where the match just dramatically shifted. Pakistan Shaheens bowler Fasi Akram. He delivered an absolutely stunning spell of bowling. Just incredible stuff. He took 5 wickets for only 16 runs in his 4 overs. 5 for 16.
5 for 16.
Yep, just ripped through the Scorchers' middle order. Think about this. The Scorchers were looking reasonably comfortable. They were 76 for 3. Then Akram comes on, does his magic, and suddenly they collapse. They plummet to 100 for 8 wickets in just under 5 overs. By the 16th over, basically.
That's unbelievable. Who was he getting out? Was it just tailenders or key batsmen?
Oh, no, these were crucial wickets. He wasn't just cleaning up the tail. He was dismantling their core batting lineup. He got Hobson out for 27. Spores went for a duck, 0 runs. Then Luke Holt for 4, Matthew Kelly for 5, and Joel Curtis, who was actually set, looking good on 31. Akram got him too. Yeah, just wicket after wicket. His control, his line, length. It was spot on. He preyed on any mistake, any impatience. Watching it unfold, you must have been thinking, hang on, could he actually win this for them? Almost single-handedly.
Absolutely. With Akram bowling like that, the atmosphere must have been electric. You could probably feel the Scorchers tightening up, right? Thinking, are we going to throw this away?
Oh, definitely. The tension must have been through the roof. For the Scorchers, yeah, it must have felt like the game was just slipping away. They were cruising towards what looked like an easy win, and then suddenly it's chaos. They're staring down the barrel of a massive collapse. It just goes to show, doesn't it, how one player, one spell, can completely flip the script in T20. A team that looked down and out suddenly has a real sniff of victory, all thanks to this one guy's brilliance. It was incredible skill and nerve.
Just phenomenal.
Right.
But despite Akram's unbelievable effort, it wasn't quite enough in the end. The Scorchers' lower order somehow managed to hold their nerve under all that pressure.
They did. And that composure, right at the death, was absolutely vital for them. Those last few overs were super tense. But the last two batting pairs, they knew what they had to do. Just needed a few runs. They calmly chipped away at the target. You had Rakacholi, he finished 8 not out, and crucially hit a 6 in there somewhere, which must have just eased the pressure massively.
Big shot.
Huge shot. And then Couch at the other end, 7 not out. They just guided the Scorchers home. They reached 114 for 8. That was in the 19th over, 18.1 overs to be exact. So a win by 2 wickets. It really shows you need that batting depth in T20, doesn't it? It's not always about the top order. Sometimes it's numbers 8, 9, 10 getting you across the line.
Yeah, nerve-wracking stuff right to the end. And obviously Akram was the star, but the other Shahin's bowlers chipped in too. They kept it tight for a while there.
I did, absolutely. You had Mohammad Wasim, he got 1 for 16. Obaid Shah took 1 for 22. And Saad Masood, who batted well earlier, he also bowled and picked up 1 for 29. So they all contributed to making it a real fight. But yeah, Akram's spell was just something else entirely.
Which brings us to this really fascinating outcome, the Player of the Match award. Because, the Scorchers won, but the story of the match feels like it belongs to someone else.
Right, and this is the twist, isn't it? It's quite unusual. Despite being on the losing side, Fazli Akram from Pakistan Shaheens was named Player of the Match. And you can absolutely see why. His spell at 5 for 16, it wasn't just the wickets, it was the sheer impact.
Yeah.
He single-handedly dragged his team back into a game they had almost no right to be in. He turned a simple chase into this desperate scramble for the Scorchers. When a player from the losing team gets that award, it really highlights just how dominant, how game-changing their individual performance was. It kind of overshadowed everything else, even the final result in a way. It was a performance you just couldn't ignore.
Absolutely. And just to add another little layer to the story, there was a bit of history here too, wasn't there? A revenge element for the Scorchers.
That's right, yeah. Good point. If you look back to almost exactly a year before, August 10th, 2024, same place, Darwin, the Pakistan Shaheens actually beat the Perth Scorchers in that series by 17 runs. So this time around, the Scorchers managed to get one back on them, probably made that tight victory feel even sweeter for them.
Interesting context. So when you boil it all down, what we've just talked through is just peak T20 cricket, isn't it? You had collapses from both sides early on, then this incredible individual performance that nearly stole the show, and finally, that lower order resilience, seeing the chasing team home. It just hammers home how fast momentum can swing in this format, and how one player can leave such a massive mark even if their team doesn't quite get the win. It really makes you wonder, though, doesn't it, in sport, maybe even more broadly. How do we balance individual brilliance against the team results? Like, what truly defines success when one person's performance is clearly the best on the day, recognized as such, but it's not quite enough for the team victory? Something for you to maybe chew on.